you ready?
Audio.
And welcome to the 10 and under semifinals. You have Lambo versus the Miramar Wolverines. Of course, Lambo in the black and orange, Wolverines in the gold and blue. First quarter opening action right here on Generation X Youth Sports Network. Handoff to the right-hand side. A little room there, and the linebacker will fill it. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2. Let's just see where they spot the balls. Thank you for joining us today on Generation X Youth Sports Network as we're bringing you championship rounds all day today. Right now we're highlighting the 10 and under. Team that wins goes to the championship round here based on record, points scored, and points against throughout this series. Ball is on the ground, and he'll be tackled in the backfield. And if you've been following this Wolverines team, they're starting quarterback suffered an injury earlier in this tournament. Number 7 is out with a leg injury. So hopefully they'll have him out or have him back for the season. Lambo, of course, the defending YNC champions the last 3 seasons. Well, 3 years, not consecutive. They had a loss one of those years, but have won the championship 3 years. They have been the #1 ranked team wire to wire from last year to this year. They come out preseason, and listen, we have not dropped rankings for this season. We've only slotted the #1 teams, and teams that won the championships from last year carried on that ranking. And what our preseason is for, to catch all those positions or those teams as they get ready to position themselves throughout the season. So next week we'll be in Houston to evaluate a little bit more and scout. And then the following weekend, the last weekend of August, as a matter of fact, we will be in California to evaluate again different age groups so we can go ahead and actually see the games we played and therefore do our rankings from that point then. Wishbone formation for Lambo. Hit at the line of scrimmage, number 32. He's still dragging players. So they're about a 6-yard gain on first and carry for Lambo. And if you ever watch this team, they're a fast-paced team. They won't spend a lot of time in the huddle. This team has been together a while, so they have a lot of continuity together. Handoff once again to the fullback. And number 16 almost had him in the grasp, but you got to wrap up on 32. You can't just tackle him, arm tackle him. You're going to wrap up and drive through him. So 32 with the carry at the fullback position for Lambo. That'll be enough for a first down. Same formation once again. And this time they'll hand off to the tailback to number 7 on the carry. And he'll go off guard, left guard on that carry. About a 4-yard gain on that play. That'll bring up 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. And Mello will get the carry to the right-hand side, and he'll make a player miss and still on his feet, so that'll be touchdown. Central DeKalb, a.k.a. Lambo, 4 plays touchdown as they have a very efficient offense. 2 plays to number 32 up the middle at the fullback. Then an off-guard play, number 7, to the left-hand side. And then number 4, Mello, which is their star running back, probably one of the best 10U players in the country, walks in for the touchdown on the right-hand side. And point after attempt is no good. Outstretched hands of the wide receiver. So your score is 6-0. Central DeKalb, Miramar 0. First and 10, Miramar Wolverines. Handoff right up the middle. Not a lot of room there. He's met in the hole. So they'll lose about 2 yards on the play. Score 6-0. Lambo 6, Miramar 0. Right now, 2nd and 13 for the Wolverines. Quarterback under center. Central DeKalb shows blitz. And he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 13. No room in between the tackles. Wolverines' first time on the national stage, coming up here to Alabama this year, playing the #1 team in the country, #1 10U team in the country, and that is Lambo. Every time Lambo's taken the field this year, they've been very successful. A record thus far in preseason, already an astonishing 11-0. They've played a lot of games this season already, undefeated thus far in the season. Screenplay. Oh, in and out of the hands of wide would-be receiver. So that's incomplete. So it's going to be 4th down. So they're going to need to punt that ball here, and it will be Lambo's ball. And they'll have a water break right here on Generation X Sports Network. Lambo goes in motion to number 7. He has a lane, and it's going to be a foot race, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7, and there's going to be flags on the play. But number 7 races to the end zone. Flags was out. And Lambo shows you their quick strike capability. And let's see what the flag is about. So it's going to be first and 13 for Lambo. Twins receivers to the bottom of your screen, twins receivers to the top, quarterbacks in shotgun, player in motion, another player's in motion, and they'll do a reverse play this time to number 9, and he has a big hole, and this time it's touchdown. So Lambo shows you their quick strike capability as they were able to capitalize on even after penalty. Big touchdown, explosive offense as they did a spin reverse to number 9, goes around the touchdown. 48-yard strike for Lambo. Your score is 12-0. Point after attempt, quarterback back to pass. He'll take his second read, third read. He'll turn it, go to the corner end zone, and he'll extend the play with his legs, and that will be conversion good. So that'll bring your score 13-0. Conversion is good. 13-0, Lambo over Miramar Wolverines. First and 10, Miramar Wolverines, quarterbacks in shotgun, screenplay, and he'll shake and bake, and big tackle, and big hit right there. So we might have an injury timeout. So we'll take a timeout real quick. Second and eight. Ball is up. Almost an interception. Pass was intended for number 17. Broken up by number 8. Defensive back for Lambo. So it will be punt, and it'll be Lambo's ball once again. So they've had 2 possessions for 2 touchdowns. So this offense is a pretty hard offense to stop on this 10 and under. And again, these kids have been together for a long time, so it's a lot of continuity on this Lambo's offense. First and 10, Lambo. With the lead of 13-0 right now, sends a play in motion. Hand out to the right-hand side. Another big run, still on his feet. Still on his feet. And that's going to be big touchdowns again for Lambo. As 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, they go up big early in this game. It's going to be 19-0. Lambo goes up, and it shows you how explosive this team is, no matter who lines up in front of them. This is the reason why they've been ranked #1 in the nation, and they can beat you in a lot of different ways. They can ground and pound it. They can show you speed to the edges. They can throw the ball. And defensively, they're stout. So here we go, point after attempt, point after attempt. Quarterback in shotgun. Point after attempt. He'll go to his second read. Pressure's coming in. Try to reverse field. Still on his feet. Cut back in, and he'll be tackled. After point will be no good. So your score is 19-0, Lambo over the Wolverines. Handoff, left-hand side. So that'll be a gain of 2. That's going to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Wolverines. Jumbo set for Miramar, double tights, run formation. Hand off to the left. Oh, and he's submarine in the backfield. Ball is on the ground, picked up. And touchdown once again for Lambo. So it looks like the wheels are falling off the wheel for Wolverines. They'll just need to stay calm right now. Playing the #1 team in the nation, you got to be ready for their waves of offense and defensive plays and be able to sustain it throughout the game. You can't get down. And that's how you play a team like Lambo. Right now, 25-0 after turnover. He was trying to fight for extra yards, put the ball on the ground. Point after 10. Sends a play in motion. Quarterback back to pass. Sends it out to Melo. Number 4 cuts in. Walks in easily. 26-0 is your score. Lambo over the Wolverines. That'll bring us to your half right here on Generation X Youth Sports Network. The number 1 team in the nation having their way right now with the Wolverines. We'll check out and see how the Wolverines can respond. Second half of action right here on Generation X Youth Sports Network. And welcome back to Generation X Youth Sports Network. Second half of action. Lambo up right now. 25-0 over the Wolverines. They'll get possession of the football coming out of the second half. And every time Lambo has had a possession, they've scored. So let's see if the Wolverines defense can adjust after the halftime talks with their coaches and see if they can contain this Lambo offense. And big hit in the backfield. And that is what the Wolverines need right there, a little spark on either side of the football. Big hit by number 3. And that'll be a loss of 2 yards for Lambo. That makes it 2nd and 12. Quarterback's under center for Lambo. Hand off to the left-hand side. Still on his feet, but he'll be gang tackled. And there's going to be a flag on the play. Let's see what that flag is. And it looks like it's going to be holding on Lambo. Not doing nothing. And it'll be a pass downfield. He's by himself and nobody there. And it's going to be a foot race to the end zone. Broken coverage by the Wolverines lets number 0 get behind the defense. And he'll walk into the end zone. Lambo will increase their lead 31-0. So blown coverage by the Wolverines as they were on a run containment play. Safety stepped up as a linebacker. And 2 receivers slipped behind the defense of the Wolverines and, man, took it to the house on a 82-yard touchdown. As it looks right now that Lambo will advance to the 10U championship game. And, of course, being that number 1 team in the nation, this is why we say pound for pound, this has been one of the most dominant teams, regardless of the age groups from 6U to 14U, just because in their age group, it's just hard for them to get competition that has kept them closer, even a game that has been within inside of a 3-touchdown race. And there's not a lot of teams around the nation, regardless of age groups, who can say every time they touch the football field, they've won it by 3 or more touchdowns. And Lambo has just been able to do that consistently. So therefore, you have to say this is a dominant, pound-for-pound team. One of the most dominant teams in the country. And Miramar is just getting a little experience on the national stage here as, you know, playing in a league in the AYFL, because of usually having May birthdays, they have not had a lot of national exposure. But this team was built to compete on the national stage, so they'll need to acclimate to the national type of competition, meaning the trenches, the skills positions, and not just playing in a local. And while we are always advocates for national play, you know, listen, sometimes when you play local football, you play those same group of teams all the way up from 6U to 14U, and you don't really get to see a bunch of diverse competition. Let's just say it's 8 or 9, 10 teams in your league. You're playing those 8 or 9, 10 teams and those group of kids every year, 6U, 7U. You're just graduating and playing those same groups. So hats off to the teams that's willing to take these national challenges on. You don't really see these kids. As a matter of fact, this Lambo team is from Georgia. This Miramar team is from Florida. So Georgia versus Florida. This is what you'll face in high school and college. And big run for number 2, able to get some players off of them. So a nice spark for the Wolverines. as that will play for pride right here. And understand they have a big national learning curve that they'll be going through this year, as in taking on national teams and wanting to be on the national stage. Brings up 2nd and 4 for Miramar. Screenplay number 19 makes one player miss. Some nice footwork by the wide receiver for the Miramar Wolverines, number 19 on the reception. That's going to bring up 3rd and maybe 2 for the Wolverines. Handoff right up the middle. Number 15 feels it, but it should be close to the first down markers. And yes, it'll be a 1st and 10 for Miramar Wolverines. Quarterback in shotgun. The ball is on the ground, so he'll need to cover it. And number 2 looked like he was wide open for the Wolverines, but not before the ball was on the ground. Broken play number 2 on the carry. Not a lot of room there. He'll need to get back to the line of scrimmage. Trips receivers to the left of your screen. Quarterback is in shotgun. He'll elect to run to the right. Breaks the tackle. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. That won't be enough for a first down, so that's going to bring up 4th and around 8 for the Wolverines. So it's decision time for the Wolverines if they're going to elect to punt or if they're going to go for it. 4th and 8. Quarterback sheds one player. He's going to run, call his own number, and nothing there. That's going to be turnover on downs. And Lambo will set up their offense now. First and 10, Lambo. Right now, Sporting a comfortable lead at 32-0. Direct snap, left-hand side. On his feet, breaks a tackle, and gets close to the first down mark. So let's see where they mark it. And yes, that will be enough for a first down. So that'll move the chains for Lambo. Hurry up offense. And off right up the middle. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7 for the Wolverines. Second and 7. Direct snap to number 32. And he'll run. That's one of their power runners. Their big back. And we've seen this before from Lambo. They'll run this exact same play until they get into the end zone. They're not going to change it up here. This is when coach feels very comfortable that he can just run it at the other team. And it's going to be timeout Miramar. Miramar saw they want to stop that before that momentum picks up, but we've seen this before from this Lambo team. (32-0). So what they'll do is direct snap, and with that direct snap, probably that. instantly, ladies and gentlemen, within the last minute, we went from 98-degree temperature to probably like around 70 degree temperature with winds coming out of nowhere. So, and tents flying everywhere. I'm talking about, you can look in the camera and the wind is whipping. I'm not talking about a breeze. I'm talking about a gust, at least 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And you can hear it in the mic. This wind is blowing. Let's see. Right now, Wolverines trying to play for pride and get something on the board. Twins receivers to your left, twins receivers to your right. Quarterback back to pass, play action there. He has pressure on him. He stiff arms one play, won't stiff arm the rest, as a host of Lambo players bring him down. And Lambo will get on offense once again after the punt from Miramar Wolverines. So they'll set up their offense around the 41-yard line. They're in their power set where they'll do a direct snaps to the running backs, and they'll run behind that power set the rest of this time until they get some action. Breaks a tackle, has one player to beat, and he's down the sideline. And that is going to be a touchdown, Lambo. So Lambo pours on the scoring to increase their lead to 38-0. Direct snap, runs behind that power once again, and he'll walk into the end zone. And that brings your score 39-0 against this Wolverines team, and we've never seen this Wolverines team take this type of point spread before. But again, playing the #1 team, and they're smelling blood approaching the championship time, and of course number 7 out being for Miramar Wolverines without their starting quarterback makes a big difference. You want to make sure when you're in a big national battle like this, you have all your weapons. And came up a little bit short of bringing all their top players into this game, and kind of a lot short on the point score differential. And some lessons learned for the Wolverines and Lambo. They're tuning up for their championship game and doing what Lambo does as the #1 ranked team in the nation. You've seen it here on Generation X. More action to come, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring you championship football right here on Generation X Youth Sports Network.